Welcome back to another episode of Rep and Repeat Podcast. My name is Tommaso Abadashani, and this is my co-host,
Tom Mattice.
And welcome back to another episode, guys. We are super grateful for all of our subscribers, everybody who's been following our podcast, everybody who's been watching our videos. We are super grateful for you. So today we are going to dive into the topics of what makes a good coach and what makes a good client.
Yeah, it's a good one. Really feeling that.
Hell yeah, let's talk.
So first of all, let's talk about a little bit about your prep. You know, I think that's always a good segue to go into. Like,
100%.
You know, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. We increased I feel like every week it's the same. We increased the food, right, last week. So basically I saw Tom at the supplement shop last week, this week actually on Wednesday, and he saw that I was basically dying. We went through my posing and I couldn't even pose really because my body was just very fatigued, but we knew that's part of the process. Mm-hmm. So we decided to take a different plan of action, and which is cool. Something that's cool that I wanted to touch up on is that during that day when I was feeling like shit, I didn't just think, oh, I need more food, I need a cheat meal, I need this, I need that. No. As a coach as well, I came to Tom and I was like, let me think about 3 options that we could do here. So the first option was increasing carbohydrates pre and post workout, because I did have carbs pre and post workout in my plan initially. So that was option number 1. Option number 2 was to increase carbohydrates all throughout the day in small amounts in each meal. And then option number 3 was basically increasing carbohydrates for breakfast and dinner so I could sleep a little bit better and wake up more relaxed.
Yeah, and you know, it's kind of cool that we're going into this because like our subjects today are what's a good coach, what's a good client, what's what's the green flag, what's the red flags in both, and you coming to me with those 3 options is really, it shows 2 green flags. You know, one that I'm willing to listen, and one that you're willing to go through your own knowledge base and go, something's wrong here, let's figure this out together, and then be receptive to that. You know, one thing when I look back at it, I sat back and I was like, well, your pre-workout meal, you kind of had a decent amount of carbs. We were sitting around like 70 grams of carbs. So I was kind of like, you know what? Throughout the day, you really just have protein and fats and some veggies. You know, it really wasn't kind of giving you that oomph that you needed. And you're a big boy. You're not a small guy. I mean, you're sitting in the 205 range. Mm-hmm. On stage, 295. I can't see you being anything less than that realistically. Yeah. You did the in-body recently.
Correct, yeah.
And you did one, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, so I did one a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And then I did one this week.
And you were down like a whole percentage.
I was down 1% body fat and also up 0.3 pounds of muscle.
Let's go.
Which is crazy.
Let's go. I didn't even know that. So that's sometimes a good thing to hear.
So real quick, just to finish what we were talking about, because about what option we chose was we actually you opted for carbohydrates in each meal at a small dosage, right? Yeah. So 30 grams carbs per meal, which was 100 grams of rice in each of my meals. But the reason being was because not only was I feeling like shit, but my training was declining drastically, and I wasn't able to do my cardio post-workout or even in the morning. I had so much fatigue where it was like I couldn't even move my legs up out of bed, and it's way too far out from a show to be able to feel that way. So, and that's just a sign of your metabolism stalling, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Pick me up.
You need to pick me up, not giving you enough refeeds in the times. Yeah. I think, to be honest with you, I think with so much going on with your life, with the new job, I didn't realize that you're walking a lot. Like in the city, on the bus, things to that degree, around the gym. I mean, you're at the gym for at least 8 to 10 hours a day.
Minimum.
So I think that plays a huge role in not knowing where you were really at, because the job previous to that, you were kind of just like sitting,
sedentary, and
then you were doing something, but it wasn't a crazy amount, and then you were back in sitting. Yeah. So now it's like, when you came to me, I was like, yeah, let's just feed you carbs all day. You have a lot of muscle on you, you need to move it a lot. And again, I think it really played a big role because you said it hindered you from doing your cardio. Now, do I need you doing a ton of cardio? Not necessarily, but I do need you doing something. And if you look at me and you're like, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
I had to really sit back and go, okay, like I gotta listen, you know, and I think that plays a huge role. And as a coach, going like, this is not your first rodeo. This is not you do this for a living.
Right.
Let me take that into consideration. And you coming with those three options was brilliant, realistically. But I also knew like, the first option, like putting more carbs pre and post. Sure, that can get you out of the dump for right there and then.
Not even though, because you remember you added a pre-workout muffin, and you were like, "Did you get any energy from it?" And I was like, "Nothing at all." It just absorbed rapidly and just was excreted rapidly.
That tastes like fucking.
It tasted like crap. Yeah, it's a pistachio nut muffin.
I guarantee. I said to Tommaso, I was like, "I'm sure you finished that within a minute."
Under a minute, probably 3 bites.
You fat fuck.
I know.
I love it though. I mean, listen, bro. That's why. I should switch names soon.
Literally feast.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm taking over. Guys, watch
taking
out.
over this bitch.
Wait till the off season comes.
Oh, that's gonna be. Honestly, I'm really excited for that, and I think that's really where I'm at right now. Is like, I'm excited for the show, and we know that we're gonna bring the best package. We're
winning.
We're bringing the fucking.
That's it. That's the goal.
Seeing the updates at like weekly, and I get to see you at least twice a week post for me.
Yep.
It's tremendous, like how much you've even put on.
Yeah, that's what's the real game changer here. I think for this prep, most people usually lose muscle going into a show or lose weight, but we've been maintaining the same weight now 7 weeks, and it's just been putting on muscle tissue, and the in-body scan shows it. So I'm excited to do another in-body in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And see if because now I'm eating more again, so what if I'm gaining more muscle?
Well, tomorrow I'm looking to refeed you again, so on Monday, like, I'm looking to bump your carbs up to around, like, 400 grams with a refeed meal at night, whether it be just something... Honestly, guys, do I really need to give him a cheat meal? No. But, like, we were going back to last podcast when I said sometimes it's that light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I know what's going to bring Tommaso to that next level where he's like, all right, now I have enough fuel to go the extra couple of miles, and sometimes you got to look at it. Yes, this is definitely a physical game, but this is also a big mental game. I would say it's 90% mental. Your body's going to do what your brain tells it, and if your brain's saying, no, fuck off, it's going to fuck off.
Yeah. I mean, carbohydrates are information, right? And fats are just nutrients for the brain. So it's like, these things are necessary for your daily functions, and if you're not getting the proper nutrient intake, you're not going to function. Yeah. It's just a reality.
But you felt better this week?
Yeah, I felt better. I felt better. Of course, we're still in the deficit, so you just feel the fatigue, which is normal. Yeah. But yeah, I feel way better.
Cool. I think tomorrow's refuel will kind of give you that.
It'll push me for the week. Yeah. It'll give me another week, probably 5 to 7 days.
If anything, it'll help you probably, one, go to the bathroom more.
Yes.
2, give you more energy.
Yep.
I know you were saying you were struggling once we switched over from the fats and protein to more of a fat protein carb diet. Yeah. It was harder to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
So I think like that also gives me an indication that refeed is time to happen. Yeah. Like you said, you are a big boy and you're moving around a lot. So it's like you need to make sure you have those enough calories in your system. And I do know that I'm underfeeding you, and not even just in a regular sense, but I'm pushing you.
Yeah.
And I know that. That's why when you came to me with that, I was like, all right, let's make this change.
The goal is to get next level peeled for my first time, right? Because my first show, I was lean, not lean enough as I would like to be. Yeah. We knew that. And then when I worked with you for my second show, we had a fucked up situation happen, so that shit hit the fan there. So we didn't get to experience the full leanness that I could bring. Yeah. So this is the goal for this show.
Completely agree.
And just to condition my body to that point too, right? Yeah. For the future.
Yeah, get those beige cells off, people don't realize you got those beige cells, like literally like concrete that sat there for years. It's like digging up a foundation from 1930. Good luck. Literally. Good luck. And that's where people are like, oh, my love handles, or like, the women with like the fat, I don't know what this, that's when you have to go into those extreme diets to really get that away.
Yes, and I've always said this to all of my clients, if you have stubborn body fat, you're going to have to suffer for a little bit to burn it off. That's just the reality. Mm-hmm. Or you could take years of just like healthy eating and stuff like that, but you're still going to have that stubborn body fat.
Yeah, you got to suffer.
You really have to suffer for a little bit of time, but you know what? The risk is worth the reward, I think.
I agree with you.
Especially if you want to get that next level look to your body.
Yeah.
But anyway, speaking of this coaching stuff, you've been in the coaching game way longer than I have. So let's start with you. What are some of your experiences that make a client a good client for you as a coach?
Well, again, I think what you had said before about coming to me with some options or just coming to me with honesty. It does give me a little benefit where you've been coached before, not just by me, but by other coaches. You're in this game, so you do know your body. But if somebody were to come to me fresh, what would be green flags for me? Realistically, is just communication. You know, I got a lot of clients that are like, I don't want to bother you. That's what you fucking pay me for. Like, you know what I mean? Because then it's like 2 months go in, and it's like, hey, I don't really know if this is working out. It's like, I really haven't heard anything from you. You know, and I've seen that through other coaches. You know, I was looking at one of my guys. His name's Phil. He posted something up, and it was like, you want me to make updates for you, but at the same time, you haven't sent me anything. So how do you want me to just like, all right, we're gonna do this?
Yeah, blindly no.
Like, and then it's like, well, you know, I don't think this is working out. It's like, no, you're not working out. I've been here the whole time. Like, you know, it's like a tractor. If you're not gonna use a tractor, how are you gonna fucking plow the fields?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, like. Use the people that you hired. Again, we can be friends, we can be buddies, but at the end of the day, this is my job, this is your job.
Right.
So again, I think having that communication is number one in my eyes. Number one. Number two, I really don't think you need to have so much of a base, but just have an understanding of how your body works.
Right.
You know, like, are you sitting down all day? Are you doing more construction? Give me that honest feedback where it's like, I now can go, okay, well, if they're sitting down more, carbohydrates really may not be the way to go with them if they're doing more activity like you are now. And that's why I'm glad you had said, like, Tom, I think I need to switch this diet out because you are moving around. You're moving 45-pound plates just like re-racking shit.
Yeah.
So again, I think I have to add more food to your calories. We'll see what this refeed looks like. But having those two things, communication, just understanding somewhat of their body in that sense. And if they don't, talk, communicate.
And they have to be conscious enough, right? They have to be willing to learn.
Yes.
They have to be willing to learn. You're hiring a coach, you're paying someone to coach you. You should want to get involved in the day-to-day mindset of learning your body and understanding and learning what it's adapted to and what it's not adapted to and food intolerances, stuff like that. Because a lot of people go throughout their whole life eating food that doesn't sit well with them, and they just don't even know it.
Yeah, man.
They just think that it's normal to feel like
point.
shit after eating, you know?
Yeah.
They're not really conscious that, like, other foods may not do that for them, you know?
Completely agree. Let me be honest with you, that took me a little while to realize that as well, because being such a bodybuilder, you know, it's like, hey, maybe we should just try this different carb out.
There's a lot of trial and error as a bodybuilder, and I think that comes with a lot of experience over time I think bodybuilding in general, or just like tracking your fitness, is a great tool to use for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Because you're always going to stay conscious of what your next meal is, or how your body reacts to a meal, how you respond. I think that's a great tool or asset to have as a character, as a person. Yeah,
and learning that now is the best thing, because regardless, you're here for 80 years at least. You know what I mean?
God
willing, you know what I mean? Like, so the little bit that you're learning about your body now, it's like, even like myself, I was never gluten intolerant. I'm not celiac. I don't have celiac, but at the same time, like, I know if I had passed that, like, 4 pieces of bread mark, things just aren't right for me. You know, I feel sluggish, I feel bloated, I feel very watery in a sense.
Yeah, 100%, because there's inflammation going on, right? Same thing with the yogurt, when we switched out the yogurt, you know, and for egg whites. Egg whites do a little bit better for me than the yogurt did, because it was just causing my inflammation, and I'm holding more water. We're not seeing the visible changes as much as we'd like to. You know, same thing with pizza, like you said, or bread. Pizza. Think about it. It's gluten, dairy, which so many people have intolerances to both.
Yeah.
And then...
That's my number one no-no, by the way, for cheat meals.
Yeah, pizza.
I'll be honest with you.
Because it just slows down your digestive system and it just inflames you for X amount of hours.
There's no benefit.
No.
You know, there's a satiation feeling, but like, I always say to the guys, like, if you're going to do something, like, you're craving pizza, get that chicken sandwich, and then get a slice of pizza.
Eat pizza, right.
Yes.
That's how you do it. And the same thing, what you told me a long time ago, was pairing like a protein shake with your cheat meal or something like that, right? Like a heavy refeed meal that's like saturated in fats and carbs, because when you pair it with the protein, it's not going to spike your blood sugar that high. And
it gets the benefits to recover anyways.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
rebuild. So now going back to you, you know, you've been coaching for a decent like, what do you think a good client looks like?
Okay.
Or coming to you?
A good client for me, my favorite are ones that communicate with me the most.
Yeah.
The ones that give me extensive feedback every single week on their check-ins. There's this one client of mine, she's awesome. She gives me paragraphs full of her week.
You should look for a new coach.
Don't take this one from me. She's really good.
I'm just kidding.
Shout out to all the coach poachers out there. We know who you are. So we just had this conversation earlier.
Yeah, we did.
Coach poachers. Not cool at all.
It is what it is.
But yeah, like I said, communication for me is number one, right? Because how can I execute a plan properly or make the proper adjustments if that person is not communicating with me? That's number one. Number two, checking in on time. Why your check-in days on, let's say we had an agreement, your check-in day was either Friday or Saturday, and you're checking in with me on Monday. Like, no, that just doesn't work, because you know what? It's disrespectful to the coach when you're sending all that information on a day that we aren't asking for check-ins, because I'm not asking for check-ins on that day for a reason. I'm busy on that day. So you're not going to be able to get 100% attention, and I'm not going to be able to focus on your plan as best as I need to, and it's just going to get delayed. That's just a reality.
To touch base on that, actually, I really appreciate you saying that. I think that, everybody doesn't realize this. You're one person, and you feel like the world revolves around you. And that's fine. But you have to remember, every person has their own world around them. They're the center of their own world. So realistically, me as a coach, I'm only a piece of somebody's world, really. In my head, they're a bigger piece because they're a client to me.
Right.
So when you had said, like, send your check-ins, like, people seem to forget that we have other things going on in life. Like, yes, I do this full time, but I also run a supplement shop. I also run another podcast.
Right.
Like, you do this, you have 2 other jobs, like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of the same thing where it's like, I can't get to you on a Monday. I'm sorry, like, your check-ins are, like, luckily my check-ins are Fridays and Mondays for certain people, but, like, if you're sending your shit on a Tuesday, I'm waiting until Friday. You might as well just send it on Friday to say, hey, listen, I fucked up. I'm sending on Friday.
Yeah.
This is what's going on, so I can have just even a little bit of a run through, so I can just check the message. Okay, cool. And don't expect a response, because you didn't obviously respect my time. So how do I want to respect your time? And I'm somebody that's like, you're gonna give me 100, I'm gonna give you 100 back. So again, now I'm looking at it like, you're not giving me that 100 in that sense. So why should I? Not so why should I? Because you are paying for a service, but also like, your times are these times.
100%.
And if you were going to ask a question, different story, because I'm not looking to get to you right there and then. I will get to you if I have that time to get to you.
Yeah, and then it just frustrates you, right? Like, if you're getting reached out to in the middle of the day on a Tuesday, and you're sending the weekend check-in on a Tuesday, you, as a coach, you feel like it's your duty to respond, but it's really frustrating that you even have to respond. Yep. And then they'll get upset at you if you don't respond.
Yep. Yeah.
So you have to just respond, which is unfortunate, right? Because then you're going to look like the bad coach. But at the end of the day, they're just not compliant.
Yeah, and that's it. And again, I'm glad you brought that point up.
Adherence is number one. When I'm hiring people from now on, when I'm not hiring people, when I'm taking on my clients, the first conversation that we have is, can I trust that you will be adhering to this plan accordingly?
Yeah.
Because if you cannot, then there's no point of me taking your money, because it's just frustrating me at the end of the day. Because I could take your money, but if I know deep down inside that I'm not providing the work, the skills that I can offer you, it's not worth my time.
Yeah.
It's not worth the money.
I will say this, when I get new clients, I usually give them 2 weeks. If I have to reach out on a Friday, say I reach out on a Friday, I'm like, hey, update, question mark. Hey, I'm sorry. Okay. Fine. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's just new to their schedule, especially teachers. Teachers, I kind of give that first week, regardless, because they're back to school, and I know, like, and I'm not here to be a stickler,
right?
But at the same time, like, I will respect your time, just like you'll respect mine. Like I have teachers like, hey, fucked up this week. My scheduling's all cool. We're good. Like, I'm not worried about that. You know what I mean, bro? But at the same time, like, and those are the people that are always kind of on game anyways. Teachers are usually pretty decent.
Yeah, they have a good structure
going
on in their life.
So again, I'm not going to sit there and stickle, like, make it be a stickler.
Right.
The other thing is too, if I've had a client that's always send me their updates on Friday, say they send it, and they forget about it. I'm not like, fuck, why? No, I'm actually reaching out with concern.
100%. Yeah. Like, hey, what's going on? Is everything okay?
That's it.
That's confusing when they're always sending their updates and then
1,000%.
they're not, right? And then you think like maybe they have something going on with their personal life, or they're just not happy with the coaching anymore, or they just don't want coaching anymore.
Yeah.
Well, you brought up a good point. When you get a new client, right? This is what really frustrates me. Say I get a new client and I sign them up on a Monday or a Tuesday. We have our phone consultation, video consultation, whatever. And we go through everything and I say, I'll get your plan to you by Thursday or Friday. Usually takes me like 3 days to create a good plan after doing my research and stuff like that. I'll say, send me your check-ins, your first check-ins on Friday. I send them the plan on Thursday. They're like, great, everything looks good. I said, don't forget your check-ins tomorrow. They don't even send the check-ins the next day.
Yeah.
That drives me crazy because immediately from the jump, I know where this is headed.
So you know how to like caveat that, and I actually, this is a good point.
Yeah.
The next text message I send is that Friday, and I go, not that same Friday. I go, hey, I just want to let you know that I'm going to respect your time as long as you respect mine. I don't have a problem firing you.
Yeah. No, at the end of the day, that's just a reality.
It's true. You know what I mean? Like it's not like
because if we're gonna start off on this like bad.
Just set the mood already. Like I'm in charge. Yes, you may be the client. The money, it's whatever at this point. Remember, because my portfolio is everything to me.
Right.
The money itself is just so I can spend that time to actually sit down and do this.
Right.
My portfolio is what I need it for, in the sense. You know what I mean? Because that's what's going to now take me on for whatever career I decide to do.
Yep.
So what for you or any other coaches out there, set the precedent saying like, hey, listen, don't let me fire you because this is also my job. You came to me. You now gave me the wheel.
Yep.
So now I'm driving the ship. Like, you know what I mean? So like now, if you don't respect me saying that to you, then I'm sorry, but you signed up for this because you wanted somebody to take charge of these things or even have that understanding, that respect. And if somebody does respect you, they're going to go like, you're right, I did fuck up. Or, you know what, this is what happened. I do apologize. It won't happen again. And again, now if they send me 2 updates in a row, and they mess up with the third one, I'm not gonna come at them. Exactly. But because like I understand life gets in the way. But now trying to make it a priority where it's like, hey, maybe a Friday doesn't work out for me. Does a Monday work for you? Oh, Monday does work for you? Let's do Monday.
See, now we're going into what makes a better coach, right?
Yes.
So now touching on to the next topic is what makes a good coach. What you just said, reaching out, trying to make accommodations to fix the client's or to fit the client's requirements, you know, and try to make it easier for their life. Maybe we could change their oatmeal in the morning because they're in a rush. We'll put their oatmeal before bed so they go to sleep on a better stomach and they're feeling better instead of just like a high protein, high fat meal before bed or something like that. You know?
Point.
Just being able to work with the client's needs is 100% what makes a good coach. And also what makes a good coach from my end is also telling the client, no, this is not what you need. You know, like I've done my assessment on you and I think that you don't need McDonald's for lunchtime every day.
Damn it.
I know.
Fuck.
You know, I've been craving fucking McDonald's, dude.
I'll be honest, bro, when I'm either coming out of a sickness or I come out of a diet, McDonald's is where it's at. I don't know what the fuck it is.
I'm craving
whatever
McDonald's,
they put in that shit to make us addicted to it.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job because one thing that I noticed with McDonald's real quick is that I don't fucking get bloated or feel shitty after, which is the weirdest feeling.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'll feel shitty after Five Guys.
Yes.
Not shitty, but bloated, right? And I'll hold a lot of water. But you give me fucking McDonald's French fries, their double quarter pounder with cheese, their fucking McChicken patties, 10-piece nugget. I'm spending $25 there on average. And I'm fucking feeling good the next day.
Yeah.
You know, no swelling, no
inflammation. My pocket's hurting, but at the same time, my stomach feels good.
I mean, hey, I guess they're raising the prices for higher quality, right?
Yeah. But I do agree with you. Like, you know, I've been really sick, like 3 days of like sickness. And then I know like I'm not hungry. And then as soon as I start feeling hungry, it's McDonald's. Like in my head, I smell those fucking fries.
I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to find this funny. Last night, dude, I was craving so bad. I was looking on my phone what I could eat. And I was like, let me just not do this because I was about to call you because I was like, I want fucking McDonald's. And I was like, no, but there's this place called G&A. So I'm like, I'm looking up G&A on my phone. What can I get? Like high protein, high fats, no carbs or something like that, right? And I was like, just looking through the menu and I was like, it's fucking 10:30 at night. I was like, I'm going to fucking sleep. Yeah. Like I put my phone down and I was like, I'm going to sleep, but my cravings were ravenous last night.
Yeah.
You know, but
that's why
I know when to control it though.
Yeah.
You know, it was just I drank a bunch of water, as depressing as that sounds, and I was like, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
But anyway, going back to the topic of finishing up the topic of what makes a good coach. What do you think makes a good coach?
A coach is willing to listen. I think, obviously this isn't a one-way street. You're obviously going to know your body better than I will. So if I ask you certain questions, I'm expecting a decent answer. I don't expect fucking a novel.
Right.
But I'm expecting just some kind of like bullet points. And then just listening to see what they're saying. And again, if I have to say like, that doesn't seem right, then I'll say it. Right. But most times I don't really have to run down that road, especially with the clients that I take on. I have taken on some newbies. So they're new to their body, so it's kind of just like, it's kind of cool because I get to touch back to what I was brought up in.
You know what's good though about getting new people, like newbies, is that most of them are able to be coachable.
They are. I'll be honest, that's what I enjoy.
That is a great thing to have, right? Because if you get a client like a bodybuilder already or something like that, and he's coming to you, and then you're already... You know that guy has knowledge somewhat, right?
Yes.
And he knows his body, and then like you might have like some conflicting opinions, you know? And it's just part of the coaching aspect.
That's a great point. You know? I agree, because they're fresh and they're willing to use, but there's also that fine line. That fine line is like, they won't do shit. Right. Because it's so out of the ordinary.
Yeah, well that's where you got to ease them in.
Completely
to
agree.
The plan, right? Because I learned from my early coaching days, with clients, not every client is going to follow a bodybuilding diet. That's just a reality, especially lifestyle. Like for me, my lifestyle is a bodybuilding diet. Like I could eat chicken and rice, meat and rice, potatoes, vegetables all day long and be completely fine. But a lot of people want those creative foods, if it fits your macros, and you have to be able to adapt to that client's needs specifically. So, and I think in the initial onboarding process of that client, these things should be discussed and determined then and there.
Yeah.
And then what I usually do is I'll send them the plan.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, if there's any adjustments that I need to make, let me know now, so then I could have this set up for the following week for you.
Yeah, and again, I think that's the biggest case right there, is like realizing like these people are coming off of eating shitty breakfasts, eating shitty lunches, and eating shitty dinners.
Yeah, just transition and maybe keep that one meal in.
That's what I usually do.
And they'll still get progress.
I kind of try to make sure, like my meal plans, when somebody's onboarding and they're new to this, I try to make sure things are like enjoyable.
Yeah.
In some capacity. I've learned how to make, pumpkin pancakes. But make it with real ingredients. The Greek yogurt meal is always a good one because you can add protein to that. You can put in the freezer, fruit, all these things. So you can really have like somewhat of a dessert. But going back to like what makes a good coach, somebody that's going to listen, somebody that obviously has a portfolio behind them that you can see that they were able to do X, Y, and Z. Somebody that has a knowledge base in just communication.
Yeah.
I like sometimes just jump on the phone and be like, hey, what's going on? Text messages are great, they're easy, they're fast, but usually once a month I'll try to jump on the phone just to get that like, hey, what's going on?
Yep.
Really, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. Somebody's going to listen, somebody's going to be able to put you in, and not so much put you in your place, but like just be like, I don't think something's right.
Right, and you have to be open as a client to be able to take that feedback.
Completely.
So.
What about you?
What makes a good coach?
Yeah.
I basically touched on all of it, I think. I think just being able to communicate with the client and work around the client's needs.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, is be able to adapt.
Let me ask you this real quick.
Adapt.
What made you pick me as your coach?
That's a great question. So I just knew that you were serious in what you do and you take your coaching seriously, and that's what I was looking for, somebody to take. Alrighty guys, that is a wrap for episode number 4. Thank you guys for watching. We do appreciate all the feedback that we've been getting. We love all of you guys, and we just want to sit here and say thank you for liking our videos, leaving a comment on our videos, and also subscribing. It means a lot, and it also makes us able to provide more information for you guys and to be able to do these podcasts, right? Because obviously, without your feedback, without all your love and attention, we wouldn't be able to sit here today and provide all of this information for you guys. So we're starting to get a little bit more structured in the way that we're running things behind the scenes for the podcast in terms of topics. We're going to be having guests on soon, so stay tuned for that. If you guys have any topics that you guys would like us to talk about, please leave a comment, shoot us a message, do whatever you want. But we love feedback, and we really want the feedback here. So if you guys can help us out with that, we'd really appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, pretty much that was it. I mean, these dope ass shirts.
Oh yeah, so shout out to Tom for getting these fucking dope ass shirts. Rep and Repeat podcast. We ain't fucking playing around here. Shout out to Tom. He's the GOAT. This is amazing studio that he's providing for us here. And if you guys haven't checked out his Still Here podcast, you guys should check that out as well. I could leave that in the description box below. So thank you guys. Have a wonderful night, day, whatever you guys are watching this video, maybe on your cardio. Peace, love, and as that guy King Tolo says, he goes, peace, love, and happiness.
I love that.
Take care, guys.
Take care, guys.